Flames. In modern times, a scumbag from the film academy, Ji Liangtian, he has a heart full of enthusiasm for movies, although he is constantly wandering in the film and television industry, often only playing insignificant roles, or even playing tricky roles, but he never gives up his dream. One day, during a mysterious filming process, Ji Liangtian suddenly traveled to a strange world, the southern Song dynasty of Jinji Iron Horse. His identity became Song Bing, a completely inconspicuous character who was originally just a foil in the legend of the Condor heroes, and was not even described much in the novel. However, the gears of fate did not stop, and Ji Liangtian was determined to become a hero in this turbulent world, and even tried to change the fate of the southern Song dynasty, prevent the rise of Genghis Khan, and avoid a danger of losing the country. His efforts are not only for himself, but also for the future of thousands of miles and countless people. Main roles. 1. Ji Liangtian, protagonist, a modern college student, a scumbag majoring in film and television, full of love for movies. He traveled to the southern Song dynasty and transformed into a small character Song Bing. With his wisdom and courage, he fought hard in the troubled times and changed his fate. 2. Song Bing, identity. After crossing an originally nameless little person, with the entry of Ji Liangtian's soul, he gradually became extraordinary. Resolute, loyal, and upright, despite the turbulent times, he always believes in his mission. 3. Hanjian, an amorous southern Song dynasty girl with a beautiful appearance but a bad fate. She and Song Bing formed a deep friendship in the troubled times, and became his strongest support during the war. 4. Xiao Yuanda, a wise and brave southern Song general, he was Ji Liangtian's, Song Bing's, mentor in this era and one of his most important allies. 5. Genghis Khan, the main villain in this story. His rise means the fall of the southern Song dynasty, and the Song soldiers must fight against this powerful force on their own. 6. Lin Yulian, a heroine in the rivers and lakes, an invincible swordsman, calm and decisive, with a deep friendship with the Song soldiers, and jointly resisting foreign aggression. Chapter 1, The Opportunity to Cross. Ji Liangtian is indulging in the filming of a costume drama in the class of the film school. He plays an insignificant role, although he works hard to act. Every appearance time is pitifully short. One day, in the middle of filming, the director asked him to play a Song soldier in a very challenging scene, a fierce war because of the plot. Just as Ji Liangtian was devoting himself to the performance, a violent light suddenly flashed, and he felt that his whole person was sucked into a mysterious power. When he opened his eyes, he was shocked by what he saw. It was no longer a movie set, but an ancient battlefield filled with gunsmoke. It's... where? Ji Liangtian was shocked. He found himself dressed in a rough Song dynasty military uniform and holding a heavy spear in his hand. On the battlefield all around, the lights of swords, the shouts of soldiers and the sound of bows and arrows filled the ears. Only then did Ji Liangtian understand that he had crossed over and became a small role in history, Song Bing. His heart raced, but then quickly calmed down. He has been full of love for movies and history since he was a child, and he has long had a desire in his heart to realize his dream of being a hero in his movies in reality. At this moment, fate seemed to smile at him. Chapter 2, First Acquaintance with Hanjian. After crossing into this world, Ji Liangtian, Song Bing, did not immediately reveal his identity as a traverser, but followed the rhythm of this world and began to adapt to the environment of war. He marched with a group of Song troops and attacked the Jin Kingdom north. On the way, he meets Hanjian, a weak but strong girl who has a tragic background but is full of loyalty to the Song dynasty. Hanjian's father was once a prominent family, but she was the only survivor of the massacre of her family during the Jin invasion. Hanjian vowed to take revenge and protect the southern Song dynasty. With the help of Ji Liangtian, Hanjian gradually walked out of her grief and became a heroic female warrior. Song Bing, your loyalty to the southern Song dynasty makes me admire it very much. Hong Yan once said to Ji Liangtian during a conversation at night, and a rare smile appeared on her face. This friendship developed into an indestructible trust in the future war, and Ji Liangtian gradually discovered that he was not just a small role in playing tricks, but gradually became a figure who changed history. Chapter 3, Heroes in the Flames. With the efforts of Ji Liangtian and Hanjian, the Song army gradually won some victories on the battlefield, especially in a decisive battle with the Jin army, Ji Liangtian relied on his knowledge of movies and history to command the troops to carry out a clever layout and successfully defeat the main force of the Jin army. However, as time passed, Ji Liangtian also gradually realized that one person's simple efforts could not change the overall situation. In the face of the powerful Genghis Khan and the Mongol army, the fate of the southern Song dynasty remained precarious. "I'm not a hero, I just want to make a little change the fate of that doomed country," Ji Liangtian once said to Han Jian. But he didn't just want to do it for himself, he also wanted to create a different future for those innocent people and the unsung heroes of history. Chapter 4, Xiao Yuanda's Trial. After Ji Liangtian gradually adapted to this war-torn world, his military talents began to receive more attention. At one chance, the Song soldiers were chosen to fight with a famous southern Song general named Xiao Yuanda. Xiao Yuanda, known as a wise and brave general, commanded elite troops to defeat the Jin army on several occasions, and even successfully stopped Genghis Khan's advance in his first contact with the Mongol army. Ji Liangtian, Song Bing, did not immediately accept Xiao Yuanda's assignment, but first had an in-depth understanding of the military strategy of this famous general. After some observation, Ji Liangtian found that although Xiao Yuanda had a high talent in military affairs, he sometimes relied too much on traditional tactics and failed to fully deal with the unique tactics of the emerging enemy, the Mongol army. At this time, Ji Liangtian began to think about whether he could use his experience in modern movies to make some innovative changes to the war. As a result, Ji Liangtian put forward a proposal to change the mode of operation, intending to adopt a more flexible operational deployment in the upcoming campaign, rather than relying only on traditional formation operations. His proposal was not taken seriously at first, and many scoffed at the once nameless little soldier and even ridiculed him for his inadequacy. But Xiao Yuanda, after some thought, decided to give him a chance. "I've heard something about modern warfare tactics, and perhaps, your advice will help us somewhat." Xiao Yuanda looked at Ji Liangtian with a hint of temptation in his eyes. Ji Liangtian felt an inexplicable pressure, but he still firmly explained his thoughts to Xiao Yuanda. He hoped to quickly encircle and strike at the enemy's weak points with fast maneuvering troops, with the fire support of archers. This method was very different from the traditional frontal charge and was suitable for countering the rapid surprise attacks of the Mongol army. In the end, Xiao Yuanda agreed to this plan and prepared to jointly command this decisive battle with Ji Liangtian. Chapter 5, Wisdom and Courage in the Decisive Battle. This crucial battle decided the fate of the Song dynasty and also tested Ji Liangtian's resourcefulness and courage. As the battle began, Ji Liangtian's army used very creative tactics, first using fast cavalry to camouflage and direct the enemy's attention in a certain direction. Then, using the cover of the night, secretly mobilize the main forces and carry out a sudden encirclement attack. "You're right, such a tactic can completely shake the Mongol offensive." Xiao Yuanda looked at Ji Liangtian commanding the army, and secretly admired it in his heart. However, as the battle deepened, Ji Liangtian gradually discovered that the generals of the Mongolian army were not as easy to deal with as he expected. The commander of the Mongol army, Taub, was an extremely clever and cunning tactician, and his army not only reacted quickly, but also flexibly used complex troop configurations, which made Ji Liangtian's tactics difficult for a while. At this moment, Ji Liangtian recalled a classic film he had seen in modern cinema, in which a commander had used the strategy of striking the east and attacking the west to win a big victory. With a flash of inspiration, Ji Liangtian immediately realized that he could use the trick of fake retreat to lure Taub into the trap. He commanded the Song army to begin to retreat, pretending to be weak, but in fact secretly mobilizing a part of the elite troops to ambush the enemy's flank. When Taub saw the Song army retreating, he hurriedly launched a pursuit, but it was in the middle of Ji Liangtian's strategy and fell into his encirclement. In the end, the battle ended in the victory of the Song army, and the advance of the Mongol army was successfully stopped, and the fate of the southern Song dynasty was thus given a glimmer of life. Chapter 6, The Shadow of Genghis Khan. Although the victory in this battle gave Ji Liangtian great prestige, he was not complacent. Whenever he recalled the encounter with the Mongols, he could feel the shadow of Genghis Khan approaching. Ji Liangtian knew that this victory was only short-lived, and if it could not stop the all-out invasion of the Mongols, the southern Song dynasty would still be destroyed in the future war. He began to reveal his plan to Xiao Yuanda, Han Jian, and others, to stop the rise of Genghis Khan and change the course of history. He proposed that through the cooperation of all forces, unite neighboring countries to launch a joint resistance against Mongolia, and strengthen internal military reform to enhance the strength of the southern Song army. However, such a plan is not acceptable to everyone. Some high-ranking officials of the southern Song dynasty still harbored illusions, believing that as long as they kept their own interests, they would be able to live in peace in troubled times. These people are not willing to risk alliances with foreigners or carry out the necessary reforms. You don't understand, this is a war about the whole country. Ji Liangqian said excitedly to those conservative officials, if you don't make changes, the southern Song dynasty will be buried under the iron hooves of Mongolia. His words pierced the deepest fears of those officials like a sharp knife. They know that Ji Liangqian's warning is not alarmist, but a threat based on reality. Despite this, Ji Liangqian still faces huge resistance from within. Chapter 7, Hanjian's Choice. As the war intensified, the relationship between Ji Liangqian and Hanjian became deeper and deeper. Before a battle, Hanjian confessed her heart to Ji Liangqian, Songbing, along the way, I have been praying for you, whether you are a small person in history or a hero who changes your fate, I will accompany you to go on. Ji Liangqian felt Hanjian's affection, but his inner sense of responsibility made him unable to easily accept her emotions. He knows that his mission is far more important than a love. In order to change history, he had to make a choice, let go of his relationship with Hanjian and devote himself to the cause of defending the southern Song dynasty. However, Hanjian did not give up, she always silently supported Ji Liangqian in every battle and became his strongest backing. Chapter 8, The Final Battle. In an ultimate decisive battle that staked the fate of the southern Song dynasty, Ji Liangqian and Xiao Yuanda joined forces to resist the all-out invasion of the Mongols. This war is not only a contest of wisdom, but also a duel of will and faith. Ji Liangqian used all his strategies and resources to finally contain Genghis Khan's army and bring a brief peace to the southern Song dynasty. But the ending of this war was not perfect, and Ji Liangqian knew that the future of the southern Song dynasty was still full of dangers. Future wars will be even more difficult. Despite this, Ji Liangqian believes that as long as he works together with Hanjian, Xiao Yuanda, and others, they will definitely be able to create a different future, a country that can be adhered to, a world of peace and prosperity.